And with 2 more reviews left before we have Brimstone fully assembled, today's toy spot, we're finally going to be looking at the Man of Steel. We're going to be looking at Superman. And again, the only reason why Superman was so much later into these reviews was strictly because of the accessory that he came with. Had he come with either the legs or the crotch, the man pants, I probably would have done him earlier. But let's have a look at the figure's package before we have a look at the figure. Standard packaging. Got Batman, Superman at the top here. Got Batman at the bottom. Public Enemies. And again, a welcome change from if you've been collecting the DC Universe figures. Same packaging all the time. This is at least a welcome change. On the back of the packaging, we've got a picture of Superman. Again, no bio, no read-up. They've got the generic read-up of the story as a whole. Buy all 6 figures to build Brimstone. And then we've got the figures down below. Batman, Superman, Icicle. We've got Silver Banshee, Black Lightning, and finally Major Force. So far a bit of a mixed bag, I'd say, for these figures. Some have had highs, like the Icicle. We've had some lows, Major Force. Some disappointments, Silver Banshee. And then we've had Batman. Kind of just sits in the middle. Really, I think the reason to get this set so far is the Icicle, even the Batman and Silver Banshee, but of course the Brimstone, the very cool Brimstone. But that's packaging. In a nutshell, that's packaging. What we'll do is we'll get this figure opened up, and we'll get a better look at Superman. Stay tuned, guys. There's so much more to come. And before we look at the Man of Steel, the checklist time for Brimstone. I know everybody's been waiting for it. He comes with the arm. As a side note, just in case I forget to mention this during my review of Brimstone, you'll notice something interesting about this arm. And that's the fact it's partially see-through. It's translucent. Not really sure why, because if I bring in, oh, there he is, bring in the stump with legs, we bring in Brimstone himself, and you actually compare the arm to the leg. Oh, look, the leg is just a painted appendage. Meanwhile, the arm, though, is see-through, or not see-through, but translucent. I don't understand why. I know Brimstone, fire and all that stuff, but I don't know. It just... Maybe if he had something, you could light him up. I guess if you want to put him in front of a light, you can have his arms glowing. It seems strange, though. Anyways, if you have the Superman here, you'll have the arm of Brimstone. And what we'll do is just plug it into place. And what we have is 1 arm less of a full figure. You just need 1 more arm, and Brimstone is finished. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. But we'll move him aside. Substantially heavy, I might add, as well. We'll move Brimstone aside. We'll look at the Man of Steel here. Oh, boy. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in this figure. And when I did the review of Batman, I think one of the things I mentioned was the coloring on the face. Now, really, the coloring on the face would only be important to Batman because that's the only color, that's the only skin color you can see on the Batman figure. The Superman, on the other hand, has this tanned skin in his hands, of course in his neck, and a overly tanned face. I don't know why they went with such a tan skin color. I mean, in the cartoon, if you've seen the cartoon, they're not that color. They're definitely not that color. I don't know why. It doesn't quite work on this Superman, and because of that, the face, I find, suffers so much just because of the coloring. I don't think it's one of the best sculpts anyways on a Superman figure, but the coloring certainly does not help. It to me, it kind of looks like Mexican Superman. Kind of looks like a Mexican Superman. You just, I don't know. No, no Superman here. No. Anyone watching Family Guy, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, kind of really tan Superman. It kind of takes away from the figure. Speaking of sculpt, I mean the head sculpt, he's got the real predominant chin that the cartoon had with the way they were designed. Batman certainly has a very big chin as well, and they've squared off the chin here on Superman, and it just, I'm a bit disappointed with this figure. I mean, I certainly knew what I was getting into because I had seen the pictures of this figure, but I thought maybe in person the figure might not be as bad as I think it is, but it is. It is. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not a good. It's not a good looking face. They've also it's not quite a solid black either that they've given this the hair on him. Instead of, it's this bit matte. It's like a matte black here. Of course, the body is very similar. The body, I don't know if the torso, I have to look at the figure. I don't know if the torso is the same. I think it's different on this figure than versus the DC Universe figure of Superman. But certainly the legs and everything else have carried over. They're no different. A slight variation, I think, on the cape as well. Definitely have to go back and check that. Now, he does come with a display stand, which I would say almost you need for this Superman, because his knees are a bit loose, which actually is funny because it's the same problem I had with the Superman. I believe he had the loose knees also. In the way of his articulation, Superman has the ball-jointed head, which really serves little purpose in any of these figures because you don't seem to be able to... Well, no, I stand corrected. You can move Superman's head at least a bit. He's thinking, why was I designed this way? He has the ball-jointed shoulders. You can rotate the bicep, bend at the elbow, finally rotate the wrist, mid-torso crunch, and you can rotate the waist, bend the legs in and out, rotate the thigh, bend the knee, and finally bend at the foot. This Superman figure, oh, I hate to say it, this Superman figure I would probably give a 5. Almost maybe even a 4.5. I know, really, really low. Oh, you think I've lost my mind, but I don't know, it could have been so much better, and I think had they just put the right flesh color on this Superman, it would have at least fixed that problem. Yeah, it's definitely not, it's not one of my favorites of this line. But at any rate, that was a toy spot. Today we were looking at Superman from the Superman Batman Public Enemies line. We've got one figure left, guys. We've got Black Lightning. And then finally we're going to do a review of Brimstone. So there is much more to come. But in the meantime, I'm going to wrap this one up here. And I'll see you guys next time. Later.